A very good evening to all my dear students. I hope you're doing great. Today I'm a little unwell, so please bear with my voice. But we'll try to complete the targeted that we have target for section 131 to 134. We'll be winding up today. And also I'll try to do certain practice questions with all of you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pallavi, B. Sai Kiran, Neeru, Kasak, Manvi, Hardik, all of you children. Good evening, Bhumika, all of you children. So Pallavi has already sent me a query. So Pallavi, I'll just start the session. But before you send me queries, I have certain test questions for all of you. So I hope good evening, Tambeshwari and Ragini, Prakriti, Nancy, Hingu, all of you. Welcome to the class, children. So I hope you have revised section 128, 129, 130 also, but 131 we have started, but we will be completing it today. So I think you have raised the query, preparation of CFS, the conditions, all the points. Yes, Pallavi, all the points need to be complied in order to claim the exemption of consolidated financial statements. So now you all have to tell me what was these points, what were the conditions to be fulfilled if you want to. So we have studied section 128, that is for books of accounts. We have done section 129, that is financial statements. In financial statements, we have studied about preparing for the consolidated financial statements. So there were three conditions to be fulfilled if you are exempted from preparing the CFS. Quickly write in the chat box and tell me what are those three conditions which you are required to fulfill if you want to claim exemption from consolidated financial statements. When the subsidiary company is not required to prepare the consolidated financial statements. Number one, when yes, very good. Hardik Marwa is the first one to give the correct answer. Good child. When you are not in the process of listing, you're not a listed company, your ultimate parent company is preparing it, and you have taken a written consent from your members that they're okay if you're not preparing the consolidated financial statements. All right. Yes, it's holding company which is preparing CFS. Good, Mahi. Yes, Pallavi, now you have understood it clearly. I hope your doubt is clear now. All right, so my question to all of you, Kasak and Abhishek Mishra, correct answer. Now the question to all of you is, when we prepare the books of accounts, I hope you have revised the definition of books of accounts. You all remember what is books of accounts, the sales, purchase, assets, liabilities, and items of cost under 148. Also, we have done what are books of paper, the vouchers, documents, written deeds. For how long these books of accounts needs to be maintained by a company? Excellent answer, Mahi, Pranav, Hardik, Kasak, Aisha, all of you. Nancy Hingu, good evening, child. Keep answering on the admin query pad also. Yes, Ajay Surya, good, Abhishek, Tameshwari. But can we have this beyond 8 years also? Is it possible that the company can be asked to keep it beyond 8 years? And who can ask the company for doing that? Yes, if central government asks them. Very good, Pranav and Hardik, Mahi, Kasak, all of you, Ragini, oh my God, all the children are super intelligent in my class. They have all revised it. Tambeshwari, Anjali, Neeru, Asta, all of you. Good, good, Ritika, everyone is correct. So that means you have revised your lessons very nicely. And can we prepare the books of accounts on a double entry system or it is single entry system? What was that? Yes, it is mandatorily double entry system. And can we have it on cash basis? Good. No, ma'am. Accrual basis. True and fair also. Very nice. Only double entry mandatory on accrual. My God, 50 students in the class and 49 have answered. So I think two of you are there in this admin query pad who have answered. Good, nine, nice, nice. All of you have given the correct answer. Bala Murugano, very good. Nancy, now I'm getting your answers. Good. All right. So for electronic mode, what was the point? It shall be accessible, audit trail has to be maintained, there shall be an audit trail but cannot be disabled, and edit logging has to be done. Can we have the branch office outside India? If we have the branch office outside India, what was the requirement for the branch office having outside India? Somebody saying no, somebody saying yes. So Asta, we cannot take the books of accounts outside India, but yes, we can have the branch outside India. And excellent answer given by Mr. Hardik Marwa, who has said, yes, ma'am, daily backup is required in that case. Inspection is required. Rati Milani, very good. Anjali, Tambeshwari, Mahi, Pranav, Kasak, Allavi. Very nice answers, children. So you have really revised it well. Daily basis transactions shall be sent. Ajay Surya, very good. So we did the example when we were opening our office in Japan. Good, good. So now we have discussed about the inspection. Who can do the inspection of the books of accounts? CEO, CFO, or who? You tell me, children, who can inspect the books of accounts? A CEO of a company, CS, CFO, directors. Yes, ma'am, only director, huh? They are so smart. Even if I'm giving wrong options, they remember the correct options. Ankit Mishra. Okay, no problem, Ankit Mishra. We're just revising the past lesson. Um, Manoj Kumar, good. Correct answers given by all of you. Neeru, Asta, Ajay Surya, Shweta, correct. Nayan Patel, good. Lahari Maruju, Asta, correct. Only the director can inspect it, nobody else. Then we have discussed in detail financial statements. This is the definition of financial statements given under section 2, clause 40. Financial statements shall give the true and fair view of the state of affairs. What are the two things that the financial statements shall comply with? One is accounting standards, and the another is it shall comply with Schedule 3. Very good. India's and Schedule 3. Very good. Very nice. This was quite simple. So regarding financial statements, we have revised CFS provision and what is Form AOC 1? Why do we need to send Form AOC 1? What is the requirement of AOC 1? Today I have to show you the forms also. So when is the AOC 1 form required? Let me just show you the forms. Quickly answer me in the chat box, children. We have to see two forms today, AOC 1 and AOC 5 form. So when is AOC 1 form required? When we make a separate sheet showing the statement, showing the silent features of all the subsidiaries and associates. I told you, if I am making the consolidated financial statements, it becomes very difficult to give the detailed financials of all the subsidiaries or associates, companies or joint ventures. So what does law require us? Law says that under section 129, we have been given this provision under subsection 3 that you can send the a statement containing the silent features of the financial statements. Means you can tell them what is the turnover, what are the assets, liabilities, moti jo information hoti hai, profit before taxes. All this statement can be given part A about subsidiaries you're giving, then part B you're giving for the associates and joint ventures. This is how your AOC 1 needs to be filed with the ROC. All right. Clear, children? Okay. Yes, features of financial statements, silent features have to be given. What was AOC 5 used for? If you're having any place of business outside the registered office, then you need to give in the AOC 5 form all the places of business where you are having your business, and within 7 days it needs to be filed with the ROC. You remember, children, about AOC 5 also? Yes, yes, Mahi, I'm little unwell, so please bear with my voice. It's just that I didn't want to miss the class with all of you. So I have the way I keep telling you the courage that you can do it. So I also try to feel the same that yes, I can take the class today. Otherwise, my health is a little low today. So please bear with my voice. But trust me, the energy might be low, but the spirits are quite high. So we will be doing our target as we have promised and discussed. All right. So who is responsible for preparing the financial statements, children? MD, WTD in charge of finance, CFO, or any other person. And we have discussed that there can be imprisonment of 1 year if FS is not correctly prepared. My question to you is, uh, if books of accounts are not properly prepared, can we give imprisonment to these people? Yes or no? Thank you so much, Nanda Goel. Thank you, Vicha. No, ma'am, we cannot because only the fine and penalty is charged, no imprisonment. Good, good. Correct answer given by all of you. Then we have discussed section 129A. What does 129A requires you? If you have not, if you are not a listed company, there is a separate provision for the unlisted company. What was that? What is required to be prepared? A periodical return is required to be prepared. Only if CG requires you, then you have to take the approval of board. And do we need to get its detailed audit or a limited review? Tell me. Under 129A, unlisted company which has been asked by central government to prepare their financial periodical review. Okay. So do we need to get their detailed audit or limit? Tambeshwari, 30 days you have to file with ROC. That is correct. But my question is, do we need to get the limited review or detailed audit? Lahori Moruju is the only one who has given the correct answer. Sukhveer Kaur has also given the correct answer. Rest all are just trying to choose one option, so which is not correct. So that means you require to have some light needs to be thrown over here. There can be a complete audit and limited review. So either you can have it in detail that yes, we need to see whether you have made that periodical return correctly or not, or a limited review. Limited review means upar se nazar mana that yes, the company has done it correctly. So either of them, both the options are available to them. Okay. All right, now section 130 also we have done in the previous class and beautifully we have seen this diagram. My question to my class is under section 130, do we need to get the financial statements revised suo moto or on the application made by certain bodies? And if you say application, yes, then who are the bodies which can make the application? Application needs to be filed with the court or tribunal. That's correct. So who are the bodies? Very good. Very good. CG, SEBI, IT, other statutory bodies. If they feel that there is certain problem, then they can request the court that yes, the financial statements needs to be revised. Any doubts still here, children, till section 130? I hope you don't have any doubts and you have been wonderful audience. You have been revising and you have answered all the questions correctly. So well done. Give yourself a patting from my side. Well done. Now we're going to understand section 131, that is the voluntarily revision. Voluntary revision ka matlab hota hai suo moto. Suo moto means on your own self. Now the directors of the company feel that they have not prepared the financial statements as per section 129. So whatever were the requirements that we have discussed over there, they feel that there might be some need of revision. They might have missed on some entry or something, or they have a feeling that the board's report under 134, which we are going to do today, they might feel that they have not prepared it as per section 134. Then what will directors do? Directors will pass the board resolution in the board meeting that yes, we want to revise our financial statements or the board's report, whatever is the requirement. So 131 allows you both the revisions. Either you want to revise FS, then also you follow 131. If you want to revise BR, that is board's report under 134, then also you need to follow the provisions of section 131. So board's approval, once it has been received, then you need to file an application to the tribunal and tribunal will pass the order that yes, you can revise your financial statements. For how long you can revise your financial statements? For how many years? For 3 previous financial years. In one day, you have studied that for 8 years, reopening can be done. This last blue points. For 8 years or for the CGF required for longer period, then it can be longer period also. But 131, very important point that you can only prepare the revised financial statements only for the 3 previous financial years. And even the board report can be only for the 3 previous financial years. Then within how many days you need to file the copy of the tribunal's order with ROC? Within 30 days after revising, you need to file the copy with the ROC. Is that correct? Okay. Good. So now we're going to understand Rule 77 in detail, how this whole revision happens, how the CO moto things happens. So first of all, when you send the application to the National Company Law Tribunal that we want to revise our financial statements, you will have to give details of certain things. Now, if I'm telling you that I want to revise my financial statements, first of all, you have to tell him for which financial year. Are you talking about the current financial year or the previous financial? Because only 3 previous financial years are allowed. So if we are sitting in 24-25 right now, so you cannot revise 2017-18 or maybe 2018-19 because it is more than 3 years old. So which financial year or the period to which your revision needs to be done, that has to be told. Name and details of managing directors, CFO, and officers who were responsible for making such books of accounts. So you have to tell the name and details of all these people who were making your books of accounts. If the accounts were audited, what is the meaning of audit? You all know what is the meaning of audit because in few days we'll be starting next chapter, which is chapter number 10, audit of companies. So after you do the accounts, after you prepare your financial statements, an auditor and outside body will come and they will check whether you have prepared your accounts as per the compliance of the accounting standards and as per the law and everything. Yes, Ritika Gupta, they will come and check your work, reasonable assurance, Lahori Moruju good, Mahi good. They will scrutinize the financial statements. They will see if everything has been properly done and they express their opinion on it. Good, Pranav, Pallavi, Hardik, all of you have given the correct answer. So you all understand who is the auditor. So if your books have been audited, you have to give the details of this auditor also, that this is the auditor, Deloitte or E&Y, whomsoever you have appointed. You have to tell tribunal that these were the people who were doing your audit. You know why they are telling the name of the auditor? Because when you send the application to tribunal, tribunal is going to send a notice to this auditor. He will ask him, Mr. A of Deloitte, don't you know that they are now revising their financial statements? Where were you when they were preparing these financial statements? You went to their house to do the audit. Haven't you checked all these kind of mistakes? Do you want to say something in respect of that? That's why he has taken the details of the auditor, because tribunal tomorrow is going to send a notice to this auditor. Then board's resolution is very important. You have to tell them the company's decision that we want to revise it and grounds for seeking revision. What is the reason? You cannot just get up and say that I want to revise. I forgot to book this entry. You have to give the valid reasons. It is not your daily affair that you can prepare the financial statements. It is not that easy to make a revision request to the tribunal under section 121. You have to give grounds for what you want to revise the FH and board's report. And if your majority of directors and auditors have changed, then you have to tell all these details. You know why? Because they might be the reason that company was having Mr. A, B, and C directors, and now it is D, E, and F, and now we are revising it. So you have to tell them that who were your directors previously who were making, because they were responsible children for making your financial statement. Even if your auditors have undergone a change, you have to inform under section 131 whosoever has been changed, your directors or auditors. All right. After that, the company will advertise within 14 days before the date of hearing. Now, what is happening over here is, first, board of directors will pass the resolution that yes, we want to revise our FS or BR. What is FS? Financial statements. BR is post report. Then application to NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. Then NCLT is going to give a date of hearing. What is the meaning of date of hearing? One date will be given that on this date you can come and make your representations and we are going to revise your, whether we will decide. जैसे कोर्ट हियरिंग देता है कि आपकी सुनवाई इस दिन है, आप इस दिन आइए और आपको डिस्कस करना होगा whatever is the matter. Suppose he has given the hearing date is 14th April 23. Then 14 days prior to this date of hearing, that is by 30th April, no, sorry, 31st March 23, you need to send an ad in the newspaper that anyone having any objection can go and meet the tribunal. You will send a notice, you will make an ad to your shareholders members that at least 14 days before the date of hearing. So the date of hearing is 14th April. So by 31st March, you have to send this date. 14 days prior to this, you can calculate the 14 days. It's turned out to be 31st March or 1st April, whatever is the date. You have to send a notice. You have to inform your shareholders. You have to advertise that this is the application that we have made. Anyone has any problem or objection can go and do the tribunal. Now, what will the tribunal go do? Tribunal will, now date of hearing will come. Date of hearing will happen. Tribunal will pass the order. Tribunal is now going to pass the order. And once the order has been passed, GM will be held. What is GM? General meeting will be held and this proposal will be approved over there. And once it is approved, then within 30 days, you need to file it with the RC. So this is whole of your rule 77, which briefly tells you what is the entire procedure to be followed in case of suo motu revision of financial statement. So here the tribunal is going to give the notice to the auditor also. He will pass the order after hearing the auditor, because auditor is very important to come and tell that why whether these company ABC Limited shall be allowed to revise the financial statements or not. So that's why it is important to hear to the auditor. And then the general meeting will be called. Revision of financial statements will be happen for how many years? Only for the 3 previous financial years. And now after within 30 days, you need to file this approval in the general meeting with the ROC. If auditor claims that FS are correct as per scrutiny, then what will they allow? Okay, Lahari Morojo is asking if auditors say that everything is correct as per my. So that's why a child, they are requesting the auditor to come and present for himself. Okay, so if auditor is saying something else and shareholder say something else, then tribunal will pass his appropriate orders. The meaning of this line, appropriate order, means whatever he feels think. Then if he feels that this is not required to be done, then he will not require to allow the revision. Whatever will be the case, depend upon the case to case. It will vary whether the auditor is convincing them or he is not able to convince. Okay, anybody else wants to ask anything? Okay, Mahi is asking, can you explain point G again, please? So point number G says that after the order of tribunal has come that, okay, go ahead and you can revise your financial statement. Then company will hold a general meeting where they're going to revise the financial statement. For this general meeting, they're going to send them a notice will be sent in 2 newspapers. We have missed this point E. In English and vernacular language, 2 newspapers, this notice will be sent. And this revised financial statements along with the auditor's report will be filed with the ROC within 30 days of the date of approval. So now on 14th April, you had the date of hearing. Everything, tribunal has passed the order. Yes, you can revise. Then company will send a notice to its shareholders in 2 different newspapers that we are going to revise it. Please come and attend this general. So general meeting will be held as per your MGT chapter. And then once the general meeting is held, everybody agrees to revise the financial statements. Then within 30 days, revised financial statements and the revised board's report. Either you have revised the board's report under 131 or you're revising the financial statements, whatever revision has done, that needs to be filed with the RSC within 30 days. Dilip is asking, can the revision be disapproved? So that's why the general meeting is going to be held, Dilip. If they feel that there is any concern, everybody will be given a right to speak in this meeting. So approval will be taken depending upon how your other resolutions are passed. All right. So now 131 is over, children. 133 we have discussed in the previous class also. Now we are going to start a very, very important topic. That is section number 132. Okay, Bala Murugan has a doubt over here. Financials relating to companies, we need to comply. It shall be digitally signed. Yes, Bala Murugan, it needs to be signed by the board of directors. So financial statements, we have done this point of signing. Again, in section number 134, you will get the clarity about who is going to sign the financial statements. Okay. So AOC 1 is not about the details about the financial, only for your silent features of all the subsidiaries and associates and joint ventures. Okay. All right. Now, Constitution of National Financial Reporting Authority. Now we're going to start a very, very interesting topic. That is, what is NFRA? So NFRA is a body which is constituted for helping us to frame the accounting and auditing standards. So what is accounting and auditing standards? Under 133, you have already understood what is accounting standards. So accounting and auditing standards, central government prescribe these standards in consultation with ICAI, in consultation with NFRA is going to give you what all are the accounting standards. Now, if ICAI is only telling what CS have to do, they already know. Then they will be. You need a separate independent body, children, who is going to tell you that ICAI is giving this recommendation for accounting standards. But NFRA is the upper body, senior body, which is trying to control whether the accounting standards that have been framed, the auditing standards that have been made, are being followed by the auditors or not. So one you mentioned one you told me that auditor is going to come and do the independent examination of your accounts, but NFRA is the body superior to your auditor also. हिंदी में आप समझ सकते हैं नफारा ऑडिटर को ऑडिट करेगा. He is going to come and see whether the auditor has done his work properly or not. So it is the governing body. It provides all the matters relating to the accounting and auditing standards. And who will constitute National Financial Reporting Authority? CG. Central government बनाएगी ऐसी एक authority जो कि हमें accounting and auditing standards देने में help करती है. What are the functions of NFRA? NFRA is going to protect the public interest and the interest of investors and creditors, whosoever is associated with the companies. Now, what is the meaning of this line? Having the oversight of accounting so that the auditors and the company are not oversighting the accounting and the auditing functions. So say, for example, if I have framed the accounting standards for depreciation, I have framed the auditing standards, AAS, for your quality controls, internal controls to be followed. NFRA will see that if any public interest, means the investors who have invested money, the creditors who have supplied to the company, is the money being utilized by the company in proper high quality standards? Are they following whatever is required to be followed for their depreciation, for their general reserves, for their revenues, whatever framework we have provided to the companies, are they following it? So they're trying to protect the public interest कि public के पैसे के साथ fraud तो नहीं हो रहा है, हेर फेर तो नहीं हो. The authority is generally going to maintain the particulars of the auditors appointed by the company. So who are your auditors? Are you taking care of EY, PwC, whatever your auditors? They will take up the details of all the particulars of the auditors. Recommend the accounting standards for the approval by the central government. So this is again a section 133 that NFRA, in consultation with ICAI, will recommend the accounting standards and auditing standards, and it is to be approved by the central government. And it monitor and enforce its compliance. ये नहीं कि सिर्फ they have made it. I am a person, NFRA body. It's not that I have made these accounting standards, go and follow them. No, then I have to come and I have to check the auditor's work, whether it is being properly complied on. Overseeing the quality of service of the professions associated. So who are the professionals? The chartered accountants, whether they are doing the quality of service, whether you are doing your work properly or not. If only ICAI is telling CAs that you have to follow this accounting standards, and ICAI and CA are all together because we are incorporated under ICAI only. Our degree has been given to us. So there will be a conflict of interest. There can be a conflict of interest. We might try to, the body will try to cover the mistakes. But if you have an independent body, NFRA is trying to give you protection that, okay, fine, we have consulted ICAI, we have given you these standards, but are you following the quality of service? Are you doing it in a proper way? And they will suggest the measures if any improvement is required. So these are the basic functions of NFRA. Examiner can give you certain questions related to what are the functions of this body, NFRA. Okay, National Financial Reporting Authority. Now we're going to do 3 rules, Rule 7, Rule 8, and Rule 9, which we are going to understand how NFRA helps us in meeting the compliance of accounting standards, then with the auditing standards, And then what does it tells us about the quality of service? So now the different parts. First is the definition and functions. Now we are going to do three rules, rules 7, 8, and 9. Okay, now rule number 7. It says it may review the financial statements as the case may be and direct the company for any further explanation required. So now you have made your accounting standards. We have made the accounting standards, and your company ABC Limited is following the proper accounting standards. Now, when the company is following, NFRA can come and they can ask ABC Limited, please show us your financial statements. Where are the financial statements prepared? Which is the section for FS, children? Financial statements are prepared in the section 129. Yes, Pooja, you want to say something? All right, so financial statements are prepared under section 129. That's absolutely correct. All right. So, and they can ask for such information and explanation, whatever is required within the reasonable time company has to provide it. So now I am in a FARA body. I want to see whether you have complied with your accounting standards. For that, I need to review your financial statements, whether you have made your financial statements as per 129 or not. And then I can also require the personal presence of the officers of the company or body corporate or auditors for seeking the information. So ABC Limited will also be requested that why don't you send your senior officers? NFRA body can also ask them that we want to personally meet them. We want to have certain meetings with your directors, company secretary, board. We want to ask them about certain information and explanation. So that is also allowed. And then they will publish their findings relating to non-compliance on the website. Ab NIFARA found that you're not complying with the standards. We have made proper accounting standards, and this company ABC Limited is a defaulter. It is not complying with the standards. They will publish their findings on your website and in such a manner as it considers fit. Now, unless it has the reasons not to do it in the public interest, and it recalls the reasons in writing. But if NIFARA fails, that if I'm going to say, for example, ABC Limited has not complied with the accounting standard related to inventory. So now I'm going to disclose this fact, publish my findings relating to non-compliance on the websites of the ABC Limited. But if there is any such kind of finding which is going to impact the public interest, say, for example, the share price of the company might go low because of this kind of finding, then they will just record the reasons in writing. Then they're not going to publicize it. They're not going to publish it on the website. So this is the meaning of this line. Unless it has the reasons not to do in public interest, means only if it is in the public interest, then you are required to do. If it is impacting the public interest, this kind of finding is going to affect the public in return only, then it is better you just keep the records in writing to yourself. And where the authority has reason to believe that any accounting standard has been violated, then they can investigate the matter further also through concerned division. So they can take an action against you. They can do further investigation if the authority, which authority? National Financial Reporting Authority. If they have the reasons to believe that you have been violating the accounting standards, you're not maintaining the accounting standards relating to your cost items, relating to your material labor or inventory or depreciation, whatever accounting standards you have been studying, you must have been studying these accounting and auditing standards in your accounts. At least in accounts, you must be studying about accounting standards. And if anybody is giving two groups, then you must have studied about the auditing standards in your the second group subject, that is auditing. Just look at me, my halat is just going like this. Okay, so auditing in the subject auditing, you must have studied about the auditing standards. All right, so if any of the violation is happening in these accounting or auditing standards, then investigation can also be done by this NIFARA body. Is that clear? Everybody is clear on rule number 7, children? Okay. All right. So many of you have written, yes, ma'am, we are doing. Okay. The same is being discussed with the management. Okay. All right. So everybody is clear about that. Now let's understand rule number 8, that is auditing standards. What about the auditing standards? Once we have understood about the accounting standards, now we're going to understand about the auditing standards. So if in the auditing standards, what will happen if PwC is your auditor and they're auditing ABC Limited books of accounts? Now NFRA will come and see whether this audit done by PwC of ABC Limited, whether PwC has done its work properly or not. So when auditor will come, what will he make? He will make his proper audit plan, audit documents. They make certain working papers, children. What is the meaning of working papers? They make their own documents, how we are going to plan this audit, how we are going to document these kind of things. So they will review the working papers. So first part, what they're going to do is they're going to review the working papers of the auditors. Evaluate the sufficiency of the quality control system. So whether your quality control system are efficient or not, whether the documentation done by the auditor has been maintained properly or not. Now, what is the work of the auditor? Auditor is required to document whatever work he's doing. If he's making an audit plan, whatever detailed communication he has been sending on emails to his bosses, with the seniors he's communicating, everything has to be maintained and documented properly, so that tomorrow if anyone wants to see, they can see that proper quality control system was in place. And while performing the testing of the audit, supervisory, quality control, these are related to, all the terminologies are related to your auditing subject. You have studied about these words over there. So it is simply trying to tell you whether you're doing your audit properly or not. Quality control means whatever controls have been kept in place by NFRA, are you following it or not? It may also require the auditor to report upon the governance practices. What is the meaning of corporate governance? Corporate governance means certain governing rules that you have said that, okay, this is the management of the company, this is how the things needs to be managed. They will request the auditor to give them a report related to this. And internal controls, whether the internal controls and internal processes are designed to promote the audit quality so that risk reducing factors have been taken care of. All right. Yes, it is entire chapter of your audit documentation and completion. Very good, Apoor. So these are all your yes SAPs you have, Hardik. So these are all the compliance related things. Whatever you have done, the audit documentation, everything has been kept properly. The internal controls and quality controls have been followed nicely or not. And if they want to personal presence of the auditor, if NFRA body wants to meet them personally, can they invite them? Can they ask for their personal presence? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Can NFRA body come and tell that we want to meet the auditor personally? Personally means they will ask them to come and meet them in their office and seek such information which is required in connection with the audit. So if any information they found that there is something related to, say for example, you are booking your electricity bill every month, but for 5-6 months you have not made the provision entry or you're not booked the bill. So what can be the reason for that? So any particular example or any expense or anything related, they can have a doubt. They can ask the auditor to personally visit them and they can discuss these things with the auditor. All right. After that, they will perform the monitoring and enforcing activities through the officers and sufficient experience. So they will ask the officers and employees who are having proper experience in the audit industry, they will come and meet them and they will tell them whether proper monitoring activities are in place or not. Again, you can furnish your public's findings, whatever you have done related to non-compliance on the website. And if you have the reasons that it is going to affect my public interest, then they will simply record it in writing. Shall not publish proprietary or confidential information, something which is really confidential, something which is not to be disclosed. That kind of information shall not be published. They can simply record the reasons in writing. And separate report needs to be sent to central government for its information. So something very hidden you have come to know about the company, which is not to be publicly disclosed. Then what is NFRA going to do? NFRA is going to secretly inform the central government about this information. They will be not publishing this kind of reports on the website. And if they have the reasons to believe that if any kind of violation has been done, then they will take a full against action against the auditors also, and investigation will be done by different departments. All right. They can also refer these cases to certain kind of for the improvement to other kind of professional departments also, where they can come in and seek information from NFRA also and from the auditors also, and proper enforcement action can be taken through the concerned divisions. So these are your important points relating to the auditing and accounting standards. For accounting standard, first of all, CG is going to frame this body. Then these are the functions. Yes, the scams like Satyam scam, very nice. It is confidential information. That this can be a confidential information, but Hardik, the Satyam case was affecting so many investors in that. So if it is protecting the interest of investors and creditors, that is the main hidden point that you have to understand. Then you have to publicize it. Then you have to tell if some certain companies are involved in such kind of scam. But if something is very confidential, which might affect the public interest, like I told you, the share price might go haywire just because of a small mistake, then they can simply report the reasons in the writing. All right. So rule 7 in detail tells you about your accounting standard practicing has been followed or not. Rule 8 tells you about the auditing practicing has been followed or not. Yes, there is a proper process. That's correct, Ameshwari. Any doubts still here, children? Let's take a small break here and then we'll continue further. Yes, welcome back, students. Anyone has any doubt? Okay, regarding Satyam case, please, Sai Kiran, you're asking. Yes, it was the case where a scam was happening. Now, whether did the this cross verifying or not, that is the entire process. Okay, so you don't have to worry in detail about it. But yes, if there is any this kind of thing where you feel that a scam is happening, then the auditor will be personally requested to come and meet the NFRA body authorities people, and they will have to give them the reasons about this kind of variations or violation. And even the investigation, I told you, children, happen if there is a lot of violation of accounting and auditing standards. Is that clear? Now let's move to rule number 9, that is overseeing quality of service. Rule 9 tells you that how you can make sure that the quality of service is properly being ensured. That what kind of quality you're providing, whether it has been high quality or standard quality of services is being provided by the auditors, by the financial statements while you're preparing, how this can be ensured. All right. So let's assume there is an auditor PwC, which comes for auditing the company ABC Limited. So what is he going to review? So now there is NFRA who is going to come and check the work of PwC, whether they have done the work properly or not. So what all reports, what all documents will be required by NFRA? Tell me, children, applying rule number 8, what do you think? What are the rules and what are the documents to be checked? Number 1, the working papers. Number 2, he will see whether the proper quality controls have been maintained or not. Testing of the audit is done or not. Corporate governance reports will be invited. He will be requested to personally come and meet them. And after that, they can be requiring the officers and employees, those people who are very experienced. So Nifara is not just going to come alone and perform all these functions. They will be taking people, highly experienced people from the industry. So they will also come and check, and what they're going to publish their findings. If there is any non-compliance, they will publish it, and they will not do it if it is not in the public interest. And the last point is, if there are any kind of violation, if they had reason to believe any law or professional standards, so there are certain standards relating to law which also need to be followed. How your law policies have been framed for the organization. If they are also not being followed, then investigation will be taken, and a separate report relating the confidential information is also required to be given. All right. Yes, Preeti Kumari, correct. Working papers and all the documents related has to be given. That's correct. Now, rule number 9, overseeing the quality of service. So, rule number 9 tells you how the NFRA is going to direct the auditor about how the audit quality can be improved. The audit processes that you have followed, whatever planning you have done, whatever quality controls, how you're trying to mitigate the risk. Children, if you have studied about auditing, we try to do detailed vouching, and all the generals, ledgers, financial statements, everything is thoroughly verified by the auditors. So what audit process are you following? Are you doing it on the basis of certain random sampling, or how you're picking up a sample? How quality control has been ensured means how you try to mitigate the risk. ऐसा तो नहीं कि you have out of say financials related to 1 crore rupees, you have just verified 20 lakh. What about the other financials? So everything, all the expenditures, revenues have to be taken care of. Absolutely correct, Hardik. The test audit, which is done by CALAG, that is specifically in case of the government company auditor. So the how the test audit, this is not exactly the test audit. This is the overviewing the quality of service, means whether you have been providing the services properly or not. That is what we are checking over here. Okay. And they also specify the detailed plan with time limits. Now, what is the meaning of this time limits? Sometimes an auditor spends too much time. Say, for example, there is a provisional entry. So you ask them that I want all the vouchers. I want to check whether all the provisional entries have been booked correctly or not. So although it was a work of 2 days, but the auditor have spent 7 days in doing the same. So you're wasting time. You're wasting your time also of the organization and the time of the company also where you're sitting as an auditor. So he says that you should have a detailed plan with time limits. So NFRA can tell you that you should not waste time. You should do these quality controls within a standard time period. Then the auditor has to agree, okay, fine. Next time when I come for the audit, I will be following these standard time. It is the duty of the auditor to make the improvements and send the report explaining how he has complied with the direction. Then he will say that, okay, now I have followed your timelines, whatever improvements I have made. He will make a detailed plan and then he will show his progress and improvements to NFRA also. That is how your quality of service needs to be checked. Quality of service means हम देख रहे हैं कि आपने जो service provide करी है वो अच्छी quality है या नहीं. So when you go to the restaurants, you like going to the cafes for coffees or you like going to for dining out? Tell me. What do you like to have outside? So whenever you go for dining out or your coffee, you like going out for coffee with your friends or you like to spend time and money and time with your parents for having dinners or lunches. Tell me, you have to tell me, children. Sometimes we need to dine out with parents. Okay, coffee, both dine outs. Okay, so time spent. The Meshwari says time spent. So how are you going to spend time? If I ask you that you want to spend time outside with your family and friends, you prefer to going for coffee or for dinners or lunches? Amar says both. All right. So now, if you go, don't you expect that the kind of service that should be given to you, maybe if you're going for a coffee, that should be nicely served to you, or if you're spending 1,000 rupees on a dish in a restaurant, or maybe 500 rupees, you're spending money while eating outside. Don't you expect the hospitality industry to give you a proper service? Do you expect that? That it shall be properly served. If it is a broken glass, you will not like it. Na? You won't like to drink the coffee from a broken mug. So that is about the quality of service. Similarly, as a chartered accountant, whatever standards have been set up by NFRA, it says you have to comply with that. It is your duty. Like it is the duty of hospitality industry to make you go happy when you're sitting over there for coffee and other things. But at the same time, it is your duty that whenever you're seeing the financial statements, you should not be ignoring anything. And whatever steps of improvement NFRA has told you, you should make your progress report and you will be sending that improvement steps also to them. Then NFRA is again going to monitor the improvements made by the auditors and actions taken on the progress. So this is the same point. He will send the report and they will going to monitor that whether they have followed it properly or not. NFRA may refer the cases of overseeing the quality of auditors to the quality review board also. See, so this is very important. So it says, if NFRA feels that, okay, fine, I'm myself, like I have been telling them how to review it, how to improve their quality, how to provide the services, but still they are not doing it properly, then if he's not able to do so, NFRA feels that I can't do it anymore, he can refer this case to quality review board also, which is constituted under the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, or they can call for the information from auditors or body corporate. So वो ICAI Act के दौरान Quality Review Board के पास भी उनका केस रेफर कर सकता है. They can go to the QRB, that is Quality Review Board. And NFRA can also take the assistance for the monitoring activities. Assistance of the experts. Assistance means help. NFRA can also take the help of the experts. I already told you, like we were taking the help in the auditing standards. All these experienced people from the industry, they can also come forward to help NFRA that how they have to represent themselves. All right, so what are the 5 important points for overseeing the quality of service? Number 1, the time limits, whether the audit is being done in a proper detailed plan with the time limits, if you're following the time limits or not. Second is, it is the auditor's duty to make the improvements and send the reports. Third is, NFRA will monitor the progress reports. Fourth is, if NFRA does not feel comfortable in doing this review, he can refer it to the quality review board. And also, NFRA can take the help from the experts for the monitoring activity. Is that clear, children? And also, it will assist in the compliance of accounting standards. So it is basically trying to comply with the accounting standards, national, international organization for their overseeing whether all these standards have been followed or not. Now, let's come to a very important point. Who all are there in NFRA? Who all constitute? What are the body constituted of? NFRA shall consist of chairperson. So now we are going to talk about constitution of NFRA. NFRA में कौन कौन होता है, कौन कौन लोग मिलकर NFRA body बनाते हैं. So one is the chairperson who is having extreme expertise in accounting, auditing, finance, and law. You cannot say simply a person who is just having the knowledge of the person. You have immense and experience in auditing, accounting, finance, and law, because children, you are one of the authorities person who is going to go and check the work of chartered accountants, going to go and check the work of CAs, the work of auditors, the work of accountants, how they have made the books of accounts and other things. So you need to have good experience in this field. Then only you will be able to give an overview about the task that you're doing. And second is 15 more members having a full-time or part-time member. So they can be either full-time or part-time members, but at least not exceeding 15. Matlab one is the chairperson and two plus 15 members. Each division shall be presided over by the chairperson or full-time member who is authorized by the chairperson. So whenever they are having any decisions or divisions are made, it will be presided, means it will be taken over by the chairperson or the full-time member. There shall be an executive body of NFRA, like you have for your SEBI is a very important body that you have. Similarly, NFRA is also a kind of an executive body consisting of the chairperson for the efficient discharge of its functioning. Like you have SEBI body, similarly is the NFRA body, which helps in the functionings of the proper functioning of its office. All right, so this is, NFRA is typically about theory. But if you understand it, then it becomes easy for you to know. So far what we have done is NFRA, we have done about its, how it is constituted, what are its functions. Rule 7 relates to accounting standards. Rule 8 relates to what, children? Please answer me. Rule 7 is for accounting standards. Yes. This keeps me reminding me that you are awake, you're not sleeping in the class, huh? Very good, Nancy, Balamurgan, giving the correct answers. Divya S. Yes, Dilip, Manvi, Gurvinder, Sheikh, all of you are correct. Rule 8 relates to, Abhishek Mishra says auditor, not the auditor. It is for the auditing standards. Yes, the auditor comes into picture with the auditing standards. That's correct. And what is rule 9 relating to, children? Overseeing the quality of service. So you will now never forget it. If you remember how the service is given to you in the restaurants and coffee tables, similarly, the quality of service you have to provide. That is rule 9, overseeing the quality, whether the proper service has been provided by the accountants, by the auditors. Now we are doing about who all are the members of NFRA. One is chairperson, who is having expert field in the accountancy, audit and finance and law, and 15 members who are either part-time or full-time. Now, what are the functions of NFRA? What is it going to do? NFRA shall have the power to investigate into the matters of professional misconduct, professional or any other misconduct. So if NFRA feels that any misconduct has been done by any of the companies or organization, then investigation can be done. Either it can do it suo motu or on the application made by the central government. Detailed investigation can be done if there is any misconduct committed by any of the members or the chartered accountants. What kind of powers will be given to him? If NFRA feels that the auditor has done the audit, but there is some professional misconduct that he has done, then he can either investigate the matter on his own, suo motu, or maybe on the application made by the central government. The same powers have been given to NFRA as in the civil code. What kind of powers have been given? Like the powers have been given in civil code, that is discovery and production of civil code means code of civil procedures. When you study law, there is a civil code which has been made under 1908 Act. So it says that the civil powers have been given. जैसे आप एक civil court में सुनवाई के लिए documents मंगवाते हो, similarly NFRA have been given the same powers as are given in the civil code. What are those powers? Number one, he can ask for the books of accounts and other documents. From time to time means anytime he can ask for these, that you have to give your books of documents and other kind of accounts, whatever he has asked for. Summoning and enforcing the attendance of person, examining them on oath. Now, this is very interesting. Summoning means to call the person, that I want the auditor to be present, and then examining him on oath means जब आप If you have seen in the movies, when you go to the court, now what do they tell you? When there is an aggrieved person or the other party plaintiff who has been standing over there, they tell you that whatever I'm going to say, I will not lie. You have to keep your hand on that book that is on the Gita, and you have to say that I swear on it that I'm not going to lie. होता है ना ऐसे, ये इसको बोलते हैं oath लेना, that whatever I'm going to say, I'm not going to, I will be saying it truthfully. सो ऑल दी सिविल कोर्ट में जो आप देखते हो सारी पावर्स, वो सारी एनएफआरए को भी ये वाली पावर्स दी गई हैं. समन भेज सकता है, किसी को भी बुला सकता है, एंड ओथ लगवाकर उससे ओथ बोलेगा लेने के लिए, एंड उससे एग्जामिन करेगा कि वट एवर ही इज ट्राइंग टू टेल, ही इज सेइंग इट करेक्टली, ही इज नॉट लाइंग. ऑलराइट. And then inspection of any books, registers, and other documents can be done at any place. He can also inspect your books and registers, issuing commissions for examination of witness or documents. So he can even invite the witness who was there, sitting over there, who has seen how the books were prepared. So interrogation can be done. Witnesses basically interrogate करना. जैसे कोई भी, if you see in a movie, there is a case that somebody has hit a car with a truck, then the car has been damaged and the truck driver case has been filed against him. So he'll be invited in the court. He will be asked to present, his hearing will happen. Then he will come and give his own opinion that, this is not my fault, everything he's saying. So they can be witness who has observed this kind of incident. So they can also be interrogated. They can be asked questions. Similar is the case of NFRA. They're also doing it in the same way that you do it in a civil court. Same way, he's going to examine your books of accounts. He's going to request people to come and give their presence and inspect the registers and also examine the witness, interrogate them. And if any professional misconduct is found, then what happens, children? A very heavy penalty is charged if such professional misconduct is found. If there is any professional or misconduct is proved, NFRA will have the power of imposing the penalty in case of individual. Who is this individual? Individual auditor. And what is this firms? The firm of auditors. If the auditor was an individual, then minimum 1 lakh or 5 times of the fees received will be held liable. And if it is your firm of auditors like PwC, Deloitte, EY, any other firm, Grant Thornton, any other firm of auditors is held liable, then minimum 5 lakh rupees and maximum fine will be 10 times of the fees received. Further, he is debarred the member of the firm from being appointed as an auditor. Debarred means he will not be allowed. What is the meaning of debarred? He will not allowed to be appointed as the auditor or internal auditor or taking up any financial statements audit or internal audit of the activities or performing any valuation under 247. 247 is part of your CA final slips, but it is simply telling you that these all activities he will not be allowed to do minimum 6 months, maximum for 10 years. So it is very, very important that you shall not be found guilty of professional misconduct. Again, a very important chapter of auditing, your professional ethics. You should not be doing any kind of misconduct while conducting audit, while doing these kind of services when you're providing to the clients. All right. Yes, who are the witnesses in case of an auditor? So whosoever is the witnesses that accounts have been prepared, so anybody can be called upon Lahari Maraju just to interrogate. Okay. Yes, it is very important, Hardik. It is very important for a chartered accountant to know all these points. That's good. So if there is any liability of the individual auditor is minimum 1 lakh and 5 times, and or form of the auditor is 5 lakhs, so 10 times of the fees. And what he's not allowed to do, he's not allowed to do all these services for minimum 6 months up till 10 years time period. Is that clear, children? We still are left with NFRA, so let's finish it off. So other few points we are going to cover from the module. We just show. So all these points we have done, children, under section 131, 133. We are yet to do a restructuring of the point how the representatives of NFRA are appointed. I'm going to explain you those points over here. So this is a very beautiful chart related to section 130 and 131. You can refer to these charts. Once you have learned the content, after that you can refer to these charts. Today I'm going to take a question from section 130 and 131, also examination-based questions we will be revising. This is your NFRA, children. These all points we have done from my presentation. Functions also we have discussed. High quality standards have to be maintained. Then we have taken up rule 7, rule 8, rule 9. All these rules, you can see all these boxes are having your rules. We have discussed all these rules. Now we are going to discuss about constitution of NFRA. Also, we have done chairperson and how many members? Can we have 20 members? Yes or no? How many members shall be there? One is the chairperson who is having the expertise in the field of his work. And rest of the members are how many members? 15 members, part-time and full-time. Very good. All of you have given the correct answer. Now, this chairperson is very, very important. This paragraph is very important. It says chairperson and other members will make a declaration to the central government that number one, there is no conflict of interest. And number two, that he is not associated with any audit firms during the appointment and also 2 years after the appointment. So now who is the chairperson? We will be discussing who are the people appointed as part-time members, but the chairperson will give a declaration to the central government that I am an independent person. There is no conflict of interest and there is no lack of independence. What is the meaning of lack of independence? Lack of independence means I am not dependent. I'm not a related party. So chairperson has to tell that I'm the chairperson appointed of the NFRA. I'm not a related party to any of the members. And say, for example, if you have appointed a PwC auditor, a person who is a director in PwC, he's appointed as the chairperson, then there is a conflict of interest. He's already from this department. Okay, you're going to check the audit work only and you're appointing the same person. So there shall not be any conflict of interest and he shall show about his independence of his appointment. After that, you have to tell that this person is not associated with any audit firm. And for 2 years after his ceasing to be his appointment, means there is Mr. A who is appointed as the chairperson of NFRA. And he has given his certificate of no conflict of interest. And he is not associated with any audit firm. See, for example, on 31st March 2023, he retires from this position of chairperson, ceases to hold the appointment, means he leaves NFRA. So for how many years he will not be appointed with the audit firm? For 2 years. So by 31st March 2025. Very good. 10 years, Ragini is saying 10 years. Why 10 years, Ragini? That was for the professional misconduct. Here we are talking about the chairperson, okay? 31st March, when all of you have given the correct answer. For 2 years, he will be not eligible to be associated with any audit firm. All right. Now we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. Who are the persons to be appointed as the part-time member? Okay. So one is the chairperson and 15 other members can be appointed. So who will be appointed as part-time member? One is the member of representative of MCA. What is the full form of MCA, children? Mr. Anil, there is always a superior body which is going to take care of all these mistakes. So NFRA is going to handle the work of audit, and if NFRA is not going to handle his work, then quality review boards and other superior bodies are also there. So you don't have to worry about that. Our syllabus is extensive in NFRA. You don't have to study about more bodies. Okay. Ministry of Corporate Affairs, excellent answer given by all of you. And this is your major body, Mr. Anil, that NCA is handling everything. He will take care. Your tribunal is there then. So, yes, all of you have given the correct answer. So Ministry of Corporate Affairs representative is going to be one of the member of NFRA, who shall be of rank of Joint Secretary ex officio. Now this word ex officio, ex officio, ex officio is used in all the places. Ma'am, what is the meaning of this word ex officio? So when I tell you that this particular seat is reserved, say for example, let's take our house example. So you have a dining table in the house, and many a times we have seen in the movies also, or at times in our own house also, the chair which is on the first right hand side corner, the single chair, and then you have these four chairs, or maybe whatever is the system of a dining table. So say for example, this one chair we have reserved for the eldest member of the family. Then if Mr. A is the eldest family, he will sit on this chair. If Mr. B is the eldest family, he will sit on this chair. So that is ex officio, means whosoever, by position we are defining who is going to sit on this seat. So we are not naming anyone, we are giving them the position. So when we say that the member of MCA, who is a joint secretary ex officio, means whosoever is the joint secretary of MCA is going to sit over here. If Mr. A is the joint secretary, he will sit. Mr. B is joint secretary, he will sit. We have nothing to do with A and B. Whosoever is the joint secretary of MCA is going to sit over here. This is the meaning of ex officio. Because of this position, he is a member. Very good, Hardik. So this is the position that has been given to him, that because he's holding this position, that's why he's the member of my NFR. It's not because he's Mr. A, that's why he's my member. Because he's joint secretary of the representative of MCA, that's why he's my member. That is the meaning of ex officio, the position that you're holding. Another will be the representative of C&AG. What is C&AG? Comptroller Auditor General of India, who is an officer of the rank of Accountant General or Principal Director, again ex officio. So who we need to be there over there? Accountant General or Principal Director of C&AG. So one representative I'm having from MCA. One I'm having from C&AG. Another is from RBI. And see, SEBI is also coming and sitting over here. One representative from SEBI. तो C&AG का कौन है? अकाउंटेंट जनरल और प्रिंसिपल डायरेक्टर एक्स ऑफिशियो. आरबीआई का कौन है? एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर एक्स ऑफिशियो. सेबी का भी एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर एक्स ऑफिशियो. Our respected ICAI's president is also going to have a seat over here. So 3 people from ICAI are going to be part of NFRA. See, somebody was asking, ma'am, NFRA, who will control them? So many people already sitting in the NFRA. So it's a very huge body, children. There are many above authorities who are taking care of these kind of things. So president, ex officio, whosoever is holding the position is a member of it. Chairperson, Accounting Standards Board, ICAI is the member. Chairperson, Auditing and Assurance Standards. So what is the short form for Accounting Standards? AS and AAS. What is the full form of AAS? Auditing and Assurance Standards, ex officio of ICAI. And there are 2 experts from the field of accounting, auditing, finance, and so how many people from ICAI? 3 people. How many people from industry? 2 people. And what are the main bodies? 1 from MCA, 1 from C&AG, 1 from SEBI, 1 from RBI, 4 people from here. 4 these, 3 ICAI and 2. So 9 total part-time members of NFRA are appointed. Any doubts, children? Please go through the point. If you have any doubts, you can ask. All clear? Yes, Preeti Kumari, the chairperson who has been appointed, cannot be appointed as an auditor for 2 years. Okay, he cannot work with the audit firm. Okay, Lahori Maruju and Neeru says, ma'am, clear. That's great. Everybody is saying, ma'am, infra will keep an eye on the listed. Yes, both, Hardik. Why are you leaving the unlisted companies everywhere? Yes, Tameshwari. The other 6 will be for the full time. All right. Okay. Let's finish it off and then we'll take a small break. Let's finish this topic now. Power to investigate. Everybody is clear about the investigation. When you have to do the investigation, if there is any professional and misconduct, either suo motu or reference made by central government. And these are the powers which have been given. Quasi-judicial powers means the powers given in the civil court, summoning, discovering, inspection, issuing commissions, all these points. And once NFRA has made the order, then this is the liability which we have already discussed. Now, what is the meaning of appeal against the order of NFRA? Children, who is I told you in the beginning of the session, what is the name of the court where we can file the mistakes related to the companies? If somebody is not following Companies Act, we go to the tribunal. What is the full name of tribunal? NCLT. आप बताओ फुल नेम क्या है? आपका एग्जाम है, आपको पता होना चाहिए. नेशनल कंपनी लॉ ट्राइब्यूनल इज योर body authority to whom all the complaints related. Like we go to the court for filing a complaint. For company related matters, we go to NCLT. Now here, when NFRA has passed an order, this is a very serious order. They're going to file a case against you. They have fined you, and they're going to tell you that for next 6 months or 10 years you will not be appointed as an auditor. So it is a very serious matter. See, for example, this debarring of the member of the firm was taken against one of the audit firm, ABC Associates. ABC Associates got very angry. They said, we have not done this mistake. NFRA is wrong. You were asking me, can NFRA go wrong? Yes, of course, it can also go wrong. Anyone can go wrong, no? So any person aggrieved by the order. So this ABC Associates is the aggrieved party now. They are not happy with NFRA's order. They can file an appeal. Appeal means मेरे खिलाफ कोई केस आया और मैंने उसके लिए अपील फाइल करी. Means to go in a superior head of court to file an appeal. So they will go to the appellate tribunal. This is one body above your NCL. Earlier you were going to National Company Law Tribunal. So body above NCLT is appellate tribunal. So if ABC Associates is not happy with the order passed by NFRA, they will file an appeal to the appellate tribunal. Now appellate tribunal will take the final decision after hearing both of them. Whatever is the final case, they will decide. Is that clear, children? The last is meetings of NFRA. NFRA will have the meetings according to the place of business, wherever they want to have, as per Rule 3. Maintenance of books of accounts have to be done. They will be maintaining the proper books of accounts as prescribed by central government and C&AG. C&AG is also playing a very important role when the books of accounts of NFRA to be maintained. The accounts of the NFRA will be audited by C&AG. So C&AG is sitting on the top of NFRA. NFRA is just trying to create a fear among chartered accountants that whether you're doing your work or not. C&AG is a superior body sitting on the head of NFRA. Such accounts are certified along with the audit report shall be forwarded to the central government by NFRA. So the government is also involved. Government is going to see whether everything has been done properly or not. Annual report will also be prepared. NFRA will prepare the report for each financial year and its annual report, what kind of work we have done, what all audits we have done, what all scrutiny cases we have taken up. They will give this report to central government, and central government will cause this annual report by the Comptroller and Auditor General to be laid before each House of Parliament. कहाँ तक जा रही है देख लो अब आप. So C&AG is going to lay them before each House of Parliament. So government is involved at large stake when you're talking about this kind of body, that is National Financial Reporting Authority. And any corporate body other than the company governed shall continue to be governed for a period of 3 years after it ceases to be listed or its paid up capital or turnover. So existing body governed shall inform the NRA within 30 days of the commencement of NFRA rules in the NFRA 1 form. So not very important, but simply since it is mentioned, so you should have a general awareness of this point. So well in time, we have done NFRA also, National Financial Reporting Authority. Now, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, I'm going to take you to important questions today. Let's have some testing of our knowledge. These are the two questions which we have already discussed. 134 we have not done yet. Full of 134. See, so many things of 134. Please read this question, children. Question in front of the screen has to be read by you and you have to answer me. Income tax authorities observe the assessment procedures and a need to reopen the accounts of Chetan Limited. Chetan Limited is a company. Income tax authorities want to reopen their accounts. They have filed an application to NCLT and issuing the order. NCLT has issued the order. Tribunal has ordered the reopening of the accounts. What will be your answer in this case? This can be one question, or the second can be if tribunal has ordered for the reopening of the accounts. MIT Limited, just the name of the companies have changed. Rest, everything is same. Just read this question, children, and then give me your answers in the chat box. Simply write down the points, children. Very good. Those who have remembered section 130, that's great. So it is 130 has to be referred because the books can be opened only for the, all right, for the 3 previous years you're asking. Good, good. Lahore, Maruju, Manvi, Ragini, Sanya, Tambeshwari, Kasak, Yadav, all those who have given the wonderful answers. Very nice, children. So this is what your answer shall be. You have to tell them that the company cannot reopen the books of accounts unless the application is made by these authorities. Now, since income tax authority has made the application, then a chance of hearing shall be given to other bodies also. And if NCLT is satisfied, then only the reading and recasting will be done for the financial year 2008-2009. So this is the respective year for which they have asked. Somebody has answered for the previous year, that is children 131. Okay, here for 8 years, you can open the books of accounts. Very good, Hardik, Preeti. Wonderful answers have been given by all of you children. So you can just read the answer over here. Also, the application made is valid. The recommendation and reopening for the period more than 8 years is invalid because you cannot request it for more than 8 years. And the second question that they have given, because there is some disturbance in between. Please stay yourself on mute. So if you are reopening for more than 8 years, this was only possible if the government asks them to prepare it for more than 8 years. Okay. Somebody is creating a disturbance in between children. Stay on mute. Yes, sir. Somebody is in between us. Okay, sir. Thank you. Directors of Element Limited want to voluntarily revise the financial statements. They have approached you. You are the budding chartered accountants. Now you're sitting in your office and they are asking you, how can we get our financial statements revised? So you have to answer this question in front of you on the screen. Please tell me what steps will you advise them to be taken up. They are little lengthy answers, but even if you're giving me little points, I can understand how well you have understood the points. Bala Muruguno, Divya, Anil, good answers you're giving over here. Nancy, Ankit Mishra, okay. Alka Sharma, all the students with us on the portal also. Manoj Kumar, keep answering. You have answered the previous one correctly. Get approval of tribunal. Okay, approve as simply written one line. The rest, ma'am, you keep wondering what has to be given. So, yes, it is a voluntarily revision CO motto 131. Now 3 years provision will come. Very good, Gurminder, Abhishek, Ritika Gupta, Nahari Maruju, Tambeshwari, Kasak Yadav. Wonderful answers, children. Good. Preeti Kumari, yes, up to 3 previous financial years. This is all you have to revise. Section 131, only if the provisions of somebody who has written this answer for the previous one also. That was specifically 130. Here you have to write for 131. And one last line I want to do with you over here is number of times the revision and recasting can be done. It shall not be revised or prepared for more than once in a financial year. So let's assume in the year 2022-2023, ABC Limited has sent an application to tribunal and all this process that you have answered me correctly. Tribunal passed through all this process and they passed the order and allowed them to revise their financial statement on 30th August 2022. On 1st February 2023, ABC Limited again want to revise their financial statement. Can they do that? Can they do it, children? Answer me. I have given you a question. Very good. No is the correct answer because you can only revise it once in a financial year. Very good. Very good. Now listen very carefully. They have revised their financial statements on 30th August 2023. On 1st February, they want to revise their board's report. Can they now revise their board's report? Tell me. Can they revise their board's report in the same financial year? Yes. All of you have to answer this one. So application can be made for revising board's report. That is yes is the correct answer because either you want to revise your 129 financial statement or 134 board's report. Both of them can be revised once in a year. But if you revise same financial statements you want to revise again, then it is not possible. But since you have not revised your board's report, now you want to revise it, then yes, you can revise. But once it has been revised, then it cannot be revised again in the same financial year. All right, children, let's take a small break here and then we'll proceed further. Yes, Preeti Kumari, both can be revised in the same financial year, whether on different dates or together, that is up to your choice. But they cannot, like once you have revised financial year, then you cannot revise the financial year again. Once you have revised board report, then you cannot revise board's report again. But yes, both of them can be revised once in a financial. Okay, beta? Let's take a small break here. Students, welcome back. Let me see if we can do any other question from this. Yes. So in November 21 and even Jan 21 paper, you can see a straightaway question has come in the exam, that is, explain the briefing with reference to Companies Act for the National Financial Reporting Authority. So it is as it is question from section number 132. So these are the points that you need to write. If such a way straightforward questions come, children, then all your learning part has to be taken care of very nicely. So if you have learned it well, then you can write down all these kind of points related to NFRA. Now this is related to your CSR, which we are going to take up later on. Now let's move ahead to section 134, that is your financial statements and boards report. It is again a very, very important section, financial statements and boards report. So section 134, children, largely talks about your boards report only. But first topic of section 134 is who is going to sign the boards report and who is going to sign the financial statement. Number of questions have come in the exam related to this question only, that who will sign the financial statements. So who is going to sign your financial statements? A chairperson can sign who is authorized by the board. Or if chairperson is not signing, then two directors and one of them shall be MD. So if you see in the first box, children, this is a choice given to you that a chairperson can sign or two directors, one of them shall be MD. But second has to be a CEO, CFO, company secretary, and any other person who has been so authorized. So many people are going to sign on behalf of board your financial statements. But if you talk about signing of board's report, that is only the chairperson and the authorized directors. One of them shall be MD, which we are going to cover in section 134. So quickly write me in the chat box who are going to sign the financial statements. Immediately write it down, children. Who all are going to sign the financial statements? Ankit Mishra, Nancy, all of you have given the correct answers, children, for the previous one. And for the financial statement signings, everyone has given the correct answer. Good children, very nice. CEO, CFO, CS, everybody. And this is the choice given. Somebody has written just the chairperson, so that is not the correct answer. Those who have written chairperson, CEO, CFO, CS, that's correct. But instead of chairperson, there is a choice that two directors, one of them shall be MD, can also sign. Signed copy of FS, including CFS, has to be published along with a copy of notes attached, forming part of the statement, auditor's reports, and board's reports. So these are the important points that we need to understand. However, in case of OPC children, financial statement is signed only by one director. What is OPC? Can anyone tell me what is OPC? You have done one-person company. How many minimum and maximum number of members do we have in OPC? Only one member and one nominee. Very good. So one member is only there. So only one director who is going to sign in case of OPC. Okay. That's why we tell students that OPC get number of exemptions from the compliance and other things because it is only one member. So since it is only one member, so only one director is going to sign their financial statements. Now let's discuss about what all are the parts of your board's report. Board's report includes a very, very important thing, that is director's responsibility statement. इसको हम DRS भी कहते हैं. DRS is very, very important. Straight away questions come, like I have shown you the 2 times the question has come on NFRA. Many a times the question come, what are the contents of director responsibility statement. तो board's report में सबसे ज्यादा important जो topic है वो है DRS. DRS includes applicable accounting standards issued in preparation of annual accounts along with their material departure. What is the meaning of material departure? Means you were allowed to do accounting standards as per LIFO method, but you did as per FIFO method. Now your inventory is showing a difference, is showing a departure. Or I told you if you were to do straight line method for depreciation, but you have used WDV method. If by straight line method it is 10,000 rupees and by WDV method it is 15,000 rupees, then how much is the difference? 5,000? Now, if it is a material departure, if it is really affecting the financial statements, then that needs to be shown in the director responsibility statement. So first point relates to your So your first point relates to your accounting standards that have been followed by preparing the annual accounts. Second point relates to your accounting policies and principles. So what were your accounting principles and policies that you were using? Are they really showing the true and correct affair of the states of companies? Or are they not showing the correct view? So director's selection of accounting policies, what accounting policies have you selected and adopted for the company? That needs to be included in the director responsibility statement. So the first point is accounting standards, AS लिख लेना. Second point is accounting policies, AP. Third is directors had taken care of the maintenance of adequate accounting records, safeguarding the assets and preventing fraud. So third is related to prevention of fraud. Are you safeguarding your assets? Have you secured them correctly? Are you trying to protect your assets of the company? Are you taking sufficient care? So here is about care and prevention of fraud. So directors, it's director's responsibility. Director responsibility statement का मतलब होता है director की क्या क्या key responsibilities हैं. So it is very important to know the responsibility of a director. Number one, he will make sure applicable accounting standards have been followed. Number two, whatever policies they have decided to follow. So you don't need to display all the policies. You can simply give the link of the website that these are the accounting policies that we have been following in our company. Third is whether directors have taken the care of maintaining sufficient records and safeguarding the assets. And the fourth point is directors had prepared the annual accounts on going concern basis. What is the meaning of going concern? You have been studying accounts, you know accounts more than me. What is going concern, children? क्या होता है going concern का मतलब? We have to see whether the directors had prepared. Business will continue in future. Very good. Purv, Samsung, Hardik, Kasak, Preeti, and somebody who was the first one to answer. Very nice. Okay. So the continuity of the business, we are talking about foreseeable future. All right. Like a perpetual succession, we talk about companies going to continue in future. Directors have prepared the annual accounts on the going concern basis. That is, we will be continuing to do the business. We are not going to end the business. And the fifth point is directors in case of listed company will lay down the internal financial controls and whether these internal controls have been adequately adopted and followed or not. So the fifth point is related to IFSC, that is internal financial controls. मतलब जो आप organization में the accounts that you're preparing, whether you're having proper control system, whether you're having proper legal policies according to that or not. And the last one is related to your legal compliance, whether you're complying with all the provisions of law relating to and operating effectively or not. So what all we have to learn over here is, number one is your accounting standards. Number two is your accounting policies. Number three, what will you say? Prevention of fraud, whether the care is being taken by the director for prevention of fraud, for the safeguarding of the assets. What is the fourth point, children? You tell me. What is the fourth point? Accounts as per going concern. Very good. What is the fifth point? How do we learn the fifth point? Going concern basis is good. Fifth point is related to internal controls. Very simple. Excellent. Whether we are following the proper internal controls, yes or no. If you're following, you have to give them. And what is the sixth point? What is the sixth point? Whether the applicable laws and policies have been complied with or not. All right. So this is related to your director responsibility statement. Anyone having any doubt over here? This is something very important and you really need to learn it. All right. Now let's talk about what is board's report all about. Rule 8 tells you what all needs to be included in the board's report. So you don't have to learn all these material, but what is important is your director responsibility statement, जिसमें से आपको straight away question आ सकता है. 133 हमने कर लिया है, 134 हम कर रहे हैं. This is your signing of financial statements. We have just taken up. You have answered me also. Chairperson or. So this is your or which is written and others are and. So it is important. So if I ask you that the chairperson and two directors and CFO has signed the financial statements, is it valid? CEO and CS have not signed. Is it valid? Why you say it is not valid? It is invalid because CEO and CS also needs to sign it. It is mandatory. Good, good, good. Good children. And all these will form. Achha, Board of Directors of AB want to circulate unaudited accounts before ABC, whether such act is tenable. Okay, now please tell me. It says signed copy of financial statements including CFS shall be issued and circulated along with the notes, auditor's report and board's report. So it is important to have your auditor's report also, but Board of Directors is circulating unaudited account. Can they do that? So it says every AGM, the board of directors shall lay the financial statements, but 134 says that the signed copy of financial statement, including the auditor's report, has to be there. Therefore, unaudited accounts copy cannot be sent to the members. What did you understand from this? Can we circulate the unaudited accounts copy to the memorandum, to the members or ROC? Answer is no, you have to give the auditor's report. So when auditor's report, how will it come? Only when the accounts are audited. All right. The board's report will have following contents. What are the contents of the board reports? Just read it twice or thrice, that's it. You cannot learn it. It is not possible to learn so much. So what is important from the contents of board report is, out of the contents of board report, the important part is director responsibility statement. That 6 points are very important. We have to learn those 6 points. But other than web address, where is your annual return placed? Just put that web address. Number of meetings, how many meetings the board has held, you can tell them. A declaration given by independent directors. What is the meaning of independent director? You have done the meaning in preliminary chapter. So now he is giving a declaration that I am an independent person. I'm not related to the company. Simple. How the directors are appointed, what are the qualifications, what all positive attributes they have, that needs to be included. So a summary is given over here for your directors, contents of board report. You can simply refer to that summary. Where is that summary? Okay, they don't have this summary. It's okay. You simply can give the reading to all these points, children. Let us read it together once. So all these directors appointment point I was telling you, then how the auditor and PS are appointed, what about their report, loans, guarantees, investment, what is the important point I will tell you, how much amount needs to be carried to the reserve, what is the amount that we propose to shift to our reserves, how the dividend needs to be calculated, how much dividend we are recommending to pay to our shareholders. Material changes, if any, in the financial statement, this you can learn. CSR is very important. So CSR, DRSR, these are important topics. You can learn them as the content of board's report. In case listed company having a paid up capital 25 crores is calculated, the formal annual evaluation of the board has to be applied. Then financial summary, nature of business, all these kind of points, you can simply give it a fair reading. They are not, who signs the board report is very important, Tameshwari, that we are going to do. So all these points, you can simply give it a reading. And then rule 8 also, it says where disclosures referred under have been included in the financial statement, such disclosure instead of being repeated in the board's report, there is no need to repeat them. You can simply refer them only once. It is based upon standalone financial statements. Okay. So all these web address, now they have given the repetition of all these points. This is important. Section 143.12. This section 143 I'm going to do with you when we do the audit chapter. Children, it is the fraud reported by the auditor. This section says if the fraud exceeds the amount of 1 crore, then you need to report the same to the central government. Otherwise, you can simply tell to the company. In case of board's report of OPC, now let's discuss about who is going to sign the board's report. In case of OPC, again, you need to give a report when the comments of the board, adverse effects, whatever the effects have been taken into consideration. Signing of the board's report is very important. So chairperson of the company, if so authorized by the board, and if he is not authorized, then at least two directors, where one director is your managing director. And if there is only one director, that is OPC, then only one director will sign. So if I ask you, CEO, CFO, CS, do they need to sign the board's report? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Do they need to sign the board's report? No, ma'am, they're not. So who is required to sign the board's report? ये भी बता दो फिर. Who all are required to sign the board's report? Answer me, children. Kasak, Asta, Preeti, Hardik, all of you have given the correct answer. Good children. Sanya, chairperson and directors. Let me see the students over there also. Yes, Nancy, Ms. Jua Praveen, good answers. Ankit Mishra, great. Director or chairperson. So chairperson is if he is not there, then the directors who have been authorized, including one MD. Let's read this question. Modern Furniture, a listed company, has internal financial controls in place. A failure in the control system has been reported. The controls were reinstated soon after such incident. Can you say that the director's responsibility statement has stated that the controls are adequate and operating effectively or not? Now, illustration number 5 is very important because they are trying to explain a concept to this. What is the meaning of adequacy and what is the meaning of efficiency? It says adequacy means designing the control system and signifying whether it is in place or not. हमने कोई डिजाइन बनाया, हमने जैसे कोई अगर आप देखोगे एडिक्वेसी का, अगर आपके घर में आरओ लगा हो, okay, for filtration of the water. So whether it is giving you adequate supply of water, whether it is working in a proper manner, is it filtering, the adequacy is there, is it filtering the dirt properly? So that is control system where you're trying to check whether it is fit for the purpose or not. Operating effectively means the control has been designed to mitigate the risk. Means, is it just avoiding 99% of deposits or 100% of deposits? How much risk it is mitigating? So that is your adequacy and operating effectively has to be taken together. So if the director states that the reports, directors of this limited state that the controls can't state that the controls are adequate and operating effectively. Why? Because they have reinstated after this incident. So there was a failure in the control system. So both of them has to be effectively studied and put into place. एक होता है adequacy, किसी चीज की adequate एनर्जी है उसमें, एडिक्वेट है मतलब पूरा है, सफिशिएंट है. एक होता है ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवली, वेदर हमने रख तो दिया वो सिस्टम, क्या वो ढंग से काम कर रहा है वो सिस्टम, दैट इज नोन एज ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवली. So law says both the points have to be seen together. Now children, if you have any doubts you can ask. Have doubts, then let's proceed towards the questions. So I have section 134 questions for all of you. Anyone having any doubts? Clear, ma'am. Thank you, Preeti Kumari, for saying everything is clear, no doubt. So that's great. So let's please read this question and you have to answer me in the chat box this question. All right. Okay, Hardik, if it's clear, that's great. All of you will read this question. All right, wonderful answers have been given by all of you. So now you can understand how important it is about the signing provisions, whether it is your financial statements or board's report. So correct answers given by all of you. The financial statements will be signed by two directors. One of them is managing director, that is Mr. Prateek, whose name has been given. And in conclusion, you can also refer that CFO, CSO, if any, can also sign the financial statements. That's absolutely correct, children. Let's do this another question. The board of directors of Vishkarma Electronics consists of Mr. Ghanshyam, director, Mr. Haider, director, and Indrasan, managing director. Company has also employed full-time secretary. Profit and loss and balance sheet was signed by Mr. Ghanshyam and Mr. Haider. You have to tell the authenticity of the financial statement. Is it signed according to the provisions of Companies Act or not? Meanwhile, I'm seeing your previous answers. All of you, Hardik, Lahori, Maruju, Tambeshwari, Apur, Preeti, Gurminder Kaur, Pallavi, Tasak, Rati Milani, everyone has given the correct answers. Beautiful children, beautiful. Please answer me this one also. Jua, Praveen, Nancy, Ankit, done by all of you. Very good, children. So let's read how you have to write these answers. So the financial statement, including CFS, shall be signed by all these persons. If it is OPC, then only single director. Then you will give the facts of the case. That is, in the instant case, these people have signed it. And under your conclusion, you will simply mention that the company has employed a company secretary, then he shall also sign. Hence, the financial statements are not properly authenticated because Section 134 properly tells you that either the chairperson or two directors, one of them is MD, and CEO, CFO, and CS. If company has appointed these people, and then these people also have the authority to sign their financial statements. You want to do one more question, children? You want to do one more question? Okay, let's do one more question. Is it giving you good conceptual clarity? That's nice. Please read this question, children, and give me the answers in the chat box. Good, good, good. So many yes. Thank you so much, beta. I'm glad you enjoy all this. Read it and give your answers in the chat box, children. All of you try to give the answers correctly, children. Even if you don't know, you don't understand, try framing the answers because it will help you how you have to write the answers in the exam. Writing practice is very, very important in law. No, beta, there is no other specific group. You can only, Mr. Samsung, you can request your queries here only, beta. Excellent answers given by all of you. Let's read the answers. It says the contained financial statement, board of directors, chairperson, everybody has to sign. In the given case, balance sheet has been signed by only the director, Mr. Y. MD should be one of the two signatories. Company has employed CS, then they shall also be signing. Authentication is done only by two directors. Therefore, it is not valid. Very, very important point. It is not valid because only two directors are doing it. In case of OPC, one director can only sign. It is in order. That is absolutely correct because you don't have any other person in case of OPC. ना एक ही तो बंदा होता है, एक नॉमिनी होता है. So OPC में तो हो ही नहीं सकता. So everyone has given the correct answer. First one was invalid. Second one was valid. So we have completed, children, 130, section 128 to section 134. Now we have just set with three sections, and section 135 CSR is very, very huge. It's going to take long time. So we are meeting for the next class on 16th. Yes, Khushi, he can also sign it. That's absolutely correct. Your answer is absolutely correct, beta. So we will be doing CSR and then 136, 137, and we'll be completing whole of the chapter of accounts of companies. But since we have so many days in between, my humble request to all of you, please learn NFRA topic, learn section 134, 128 to 133. I know that because you have given me test also today. So 130, 131 is on your tips. You remember, whereas it is 14 days, whether it is 30 days, you remember that. All right. Anyone still wants to ask any doubts, you can ask, children. The topics we have covered today. I'm still here if you want to ask doubts. For director responsibility statement, somebody has written what all to learn in section 154. Director responsibility statement 6 contents I'm going to ask you and test in the next time. So please do learn that as well. Thank you so much, Lahari Moraju. I'm so glad that you have written this. That, ma'am, thank you for doing the exam-oriented question as soon as the topic gets completed. So that is the way that you have to actually learn it. Because children, once you have learned the content, you should know how to write it. If you don't know how to write it, then things become very, very difficult. Okay, thank you, Pallavi and Dishika. I'm glad everything is clear to you. Anyone wants to ask anything, you can ask, children. Because if I start CSR today, then it will be no fun because we have to do it at a great speed and everything has to be completed. Thank you, Hardik. I'm glad you have revised everything properly and you have been able to learn. So we can take okay, Dishika, I'll just open the screen for you. Here, Dishika, you can take this screenshot that you wanted to take. Otherwise, the PPTs, everything will be uploaded over there for you also on the portal. Is it done, child? Thank you so much. Thank you, children, for sending beautiful wishes. Yes, with your blessings and wishes, I'll be fine soon. And I wait to see you in the next class. So nobody has any doubts. Thank you so much, Preeti Kumari. Thank you, children. Thank you, Kasak. Okay. Tambeshwari, it's in Chandigarh. So it's quite cold over here. Thank you, Ritika Gupta. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, Dishika. So I hope you don't have any doubts, children. So if you want to ask anything, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we are done for the session as of now. No doubts? So we can wind up. All right. I cannot see any more doubts. Even if I see it. Joy Praveen, Ankit Mishra. Okay, thank you, beta. One OPC, yes, that's right. Correct answers given by all of you over here also. Nancy, Hingu, good. All right, children. Thank you so much, sir. We are done with the session. Students don't have any doubts. So I think we can wind up the session. And in the next session, children, we are going to complete whole of the chapter of accounts of companies. Yes, sir, we have completed the topics that were to be done today, and students don't have any doubts. Actually, I keep 10 minutes for the doubt sessions, but they are all clear with the doubts. So we can wind up. Thank you, sir.